Hey everybody, my name is Chris Boner, and as I guess probably all you guys remember, I'm going to tell you guys today about one of my most embarrassing experiences from high school, because we all have plenty of those. And it all started my sophomore year, and it was a Monday night. For some reason, I decided to skip dinner. I don't know why. I don't like skipping meals, because I like to eat. And so I said, I guess it'll be fine. I'll eat breakfast in the morning. Well, it turns out I had forgotten the next morning. I had a meeting, like a club meeting at school at 7:30 in the morning. And for some reason, I decided to slap my alarm off 5 times in a row, so I didn't get up until 7:15. And since I was a sophomore, I couldn't drive to school, so I had a guy who'd come and pick me up every single day. He got there at 7:20, and so I had to rush through, get my clothes on, get ready to go, get all my stuff in my backpack, and head out the door. So I got there, went to the meeting, went to first period, and then I went to my second period class. My second period class that year was driver's ed class. And whenever I got there, we were watching a video that day that was talking about drinking and driving. I was like, okay, it's a nice, easy class. It's an hour and a half long. I'll just sit here the entire time, watch the video, maybe take a nap, whatever I want to do. And so we started watching it, and it went to this one guy who had actually gotten in a car wreck. Whenever he got in a car wreck, they showed his experience about how he rode the ambulance, and he went over to the hospital, and he was having surgery. Well, it turns out they had shown a scene from the surgery where he actually was being cut open and had all his insides and like had open heart surgery going on, and it really, really freaked me out. And for some reason, now, if you guys want to know, I'm going into the medical field, but for some reason, the blood that was being shown there did not settle well with me. So I started feeling lightheaded. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going to happen. I need to sit my head down. So I laid my head down on my desk, and then the next thing I knew, I was out. All I remember, people ask me what I remember all the time, all I remember was blackness. The next thing I know, I woke up, I was on the floor, everyone was staring at me, and remember, this is in the gymnasium, so there were probably about 150 people in there, staring all at me. And then all of a sudden, all the teachers start rushing to me, all my coaches, they're like, Chris, are you okay, are you okay? And of course, I don't really have much sense going on, seeing that all the blood flow just left my head, so I said, yeah, I think I'm okay, I think I'm okay. And so our coach, Trumpower, who's our swim coach, he had rushed down to the bottom floor, and he grabbed a wheelchair. And so he brought the wheelchair up to me, and he like helped me up, he sat me up, put me in the wheelchair. And then, obviously I'm not Jewish, but I think I had the closest experience to a bar mitzvah as I could, because they all put me in the chair, they picked me up over their heads and started walking me down the steps out of the back of the auditorium. And so once they got me out of there, they started pushing me into the nurse's office, and a nurse asked me the common questions, have you had any previous experiences like this? And I said yes, and so she started putting me in that situation. So she said, do you want to call your dad? And I said, sure, I'll go ahead and call my dad, he can come pick me up. I called my dad, he said he'll be there in 15 minutes. Well, in the 15 minutes waiting, the nurse noticed I started getting really, really pale again. And so she said, I don't think you're doing so well. So what she did, she decided in that moment to call an ambulance and take me to the hospital. And so as my dad's walking into the building, I'm being escorted on one of the little racks that they carry you out and put you into the ambulance for. So they put me in the ambulance, carried me off to the hospital, and put probably 30 or 40 different random wires in my body that I didn't know what was happening with. And once I got there, I figured they were going to tell me some awful diagnosis. But what they said, oh, you have the syndrome called vasovagal syndrome, and all it means is that you pass out at the sight of blood. And so all they did after that was bill me an $800 bill for that, and then I went on with the rest of the day, and everyone knew me from that point on as the guy that fainted in PE. So.
All right.